House Minority Whip Steve Scalise is leading a delegation to Texas for a first-hand look to see if Nancy Pelosi is actually right. So how the Biden policy is working at the border. Does she believe what she just said, Congressman?
Brian, I don't know how she could even say that with any credibility, because if you talk to anybody on the ground, I've talked to a lot of people that have been on the ground, it is beyond a disaster. What they've done, not only to these border towns, the mayors, you hear them, Democrat and Republican, expressing outrage over what President Biden created. Joe Biden created this crisis, but the child abuse and neglect that's going on. It's not just the 20-plus day treks that some of these young kids are taking, 10 years old in many cases. They're being, the girls, over a third of the girls are being sexually assaulted or raped along the journey. Then they get to the United States, and you've seen how they're being treated, not given proper food and shelter, being put next to somebody 6 inches apart with COVID. All this is going on the border. You can see why Vice President Kamala Harris either doesn't want to have this dumped in our lap because Joe Biden created the mess and is asking her to mop it up, or else she's in over her head. Either way, it doesn't bode well for the United States. Our allies around the world, surely Mexico had worked with President Trump to come up with a good plan, the Remain in Mexico policy. But think about this too, Brian. You've got now at least 6 people on the terrorist watch list that have been caught. They won't tell us how many more. No doubt there's many more that have come across our border. And this isn't from Central and South America. This is from Middle Eastern countries, other nations where they have people on the terrorist watch list that know there is a porous southern border. And if you want to come and do harm to America, it's free reign. It's open season. And this is dangerous for America. And it's even more dangerous for these kids that President Biden's policies have encouraged to come across, make the trek, and get sexually assaulted along the way.
So when you look at Joe Biden's approval ratings, they're pretty high when it comes to that $1.9 trillion, inexplicably because we don't have the money. Now he wants $2.2 trillion. People are going to get some money out of that. When it comes to immigration, it's in its 40s. I don't even have 4 out of 10 people that think this is going well. You want to solve the problem. There are Democrats that want to solve the problem, like Cuellar and Gonzalez. Congressman, is there something you can do at the legislative level and get to the Secretary Mayorkas to close the gaps in the wall, to cut a deal that works, that was working with Mexico, to deal with the Triangle countries? Because this is really causing a problem in America, let alone what's going on in these facilities. These people are not getting papers. They're being brought through like a revolving door. What can you do?
Yeah, and look, there's bipartisan interest in solving this. I think more and more members recognize it's a crisis. You see Henry Cuellar, a Democrat, as well as others that are expressing outrage with President Biden's decision to create this. But you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Again, the Remain in Mexico policy was working. Maybe just because Donald Trump came up with it, Joe Biden can call it his own idea and then redo what President Trump did that was working with Mexico. Mexico was not only defending our southern border, they were defending their own southern border and paying for it, and it was stopping that flow of migrants. They can't even handle this surge that's coming across our border. They're taking over military bases, the Dallas Convention Center. All of them are getting overrun. Right. And the people on the ground are telling you they can't control it. It's got to stop. Joe Biden needs to reverse this deadly, devastating policy.
As bad as things were, President Trump never told Border Patrol don't talk to people. He never told the officials, the sheriffs, not to talk to people. They've been hushed at Border Patrol. The only thing they could do is tell you the story, and then you could tell it here. So we look forward to getting your impressions when you're done. Congressman, thanks so much.
Great being with you, Brian. Thank you.